Hey Walkers, welcome to the Walking Dead After Show live on the stream.tv. I am your host, Malynda Hale, and I'm joined by my co-host, Timothy Michael, Sue Castillo, and we have Star sitting in for Michael,
Hey guys.
from Empire. And we have a very special guest in studio today. You saw him last night get his butt beat by Lenny James, who plays Morgan, and then he was killed by Carol. Please welcome to the studio, LaBrandon Shead. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us what your experience on The Walking Dead was like. Tell us about when you got the call that you got bucked.
Yeah. Let me tell you, like, whenever I got that call, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, I had to sit down. I said, okay, first, let's sit down. Let me get my life straight. Let me like think about this. I couldn't believe it because this show, like, it's such a monster. Like,
Huge, yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, I literally, like, I was kind of talking to you earlier about this. Like, I've been trying to get on the show for years, like audition after audition after audition, and I would get close, and then, you know, it was like, oh, you know, just wouldn't quite work out. And then whenever it did, like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it's a dream.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So while you were on set, who would you say was really, really fun to work with?
Everyone's amazing.
Yeah, that's great. It seems like a really close-knit cast.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been working together for such a long time.
Absolutely. Like, the director, Jennifer Lynch, she's incredible. Like, she did such a fantastic job, like, in putting in this episode together. Like, it was insane. It was chaos. The actors, Lenny James, he's such a pro, such a like incredible guy. You know, Seth Gilligan, like, he's like, these guys, I'm just like watching them work.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Oh God, like I want to have like a notepad. Let me just write.
Write down, see what's going
okay,
on.
I'll figure this out.
Right. Awesome. Who was your favorite character on the show?
You know, God, all of them.
He's trying to be like political about it.
I know.
Well, like Tim,
okay.
we know Tim loves Carol.
True.
He will never say, I love Morgan. Who's your favorite character? It's hard, there's so many good characters.
Don't be political.
I'm not like Glenn.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
Is it because
Glenn.
he's Asian?
Stop it.
Because he's Korean, yes.
Got it.
It's about time they showcase an Asian man in the light that is not stereotypical,
Agreed.
and so I love it.
Right.
Agreed.
That's great.
Absolutely.
I love
What
any
about
of the
you, Star?
characters that are badasses. You know,
Yeah.
so Carol's a badass.
For sure.
We've got Rick. We've got most of the characters are
Michonne,
badass.
strong black woman.
If they
just-
don't
Yes.
stand
Love
up
her.
I
as
Love her.
as a strong character, I'm not really feeling them. They can
Love her.
be cut necks.
I
Just
wish
saying.
I got to meet Michonne.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, because she wasn't in that
Yeah.
episode. That's
Yeah,
right.
I was gonna
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But who is your
But-
favorite character? If you had to pick
Okay.
anybody just based on
I-
the show, who's your favorite?
I would say Carol. Like, if she gave me some cookies before she killed me,
It's all about the cookies.
I love it.
that would have helped. You know.
That's great.
But Daryl, he's another guy. You know, incredible. You know.
Everyone
I want to meet
loves
everyone.
Daryl.
Yeah, fan favorite.
Daryl just seems so cool and suave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I need to go to the school of cool.
So you gotta get a motorcycle jacket and a motorcycle.
Yes, and grow your hair out long.
Exactly.
The bow and arrow.
Well, I mean,
Gotta go to haircut from there real quick.
And point like you're flexing all the time.
Right, yeah. It's just like, it's this way.
Right.
Yeah, right over
Walkers
there.
this way, squirrels this way.
Great. Well, we're so glad to have you here. And if you're watching live, please feel free to ask LaBrandon any questions, and we'll ask him later on in the show. Let's get into talking about this episode.
Yes.
This is only the second episode, and it's crazy.
Epic.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's insane. So I was excited because I kind of had this weird feelings about Enid that we got a little bit of her backstory. You know, I feel like we have a little bit more of an emotional connection to her now that we saw that she saw her parents get killed and she survived all on her own. Like, what do you guys think about Enid?
I love that we got to get to know her a little bit because her character was like, where did this young girl come from?
Right.
What is her backstory? So it was interesting, like you're saying, to know that she does have a past like everyone else does, and it revolves around her parents who got killed right in front of her. And I was telling you guys, I forget that the walkers need to eat. I feel like they just bite and move on, right? But
Exactly.
this episode, you saw them like actually just going at it over and over and over again. So it was kind of cool to see Eden's character develop a little bit this episode.
Sue, what do you think?
I mean, pick already. This girl, she's so disassociated. I mean, it was nice to see her backstory. I do wonder what the time lapse was. You know what I mean? That she was.
You made that point. That was a very good one.
Out in the elements, because you see her, cowering and afraid, and then later on you see her, just eating Donatello like it's nothing, and then having that trepidation when she finally gets to Alexandria. Okay, I hear them, but maybe I don't want to go in.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, how much time lapsed to where she was just like, I don't think I can be around people again.
Right.
So,
But I loved how the JSS came into play with all of her decisions, because I feel like she had that thought in her mind, and they showed it on film with every decision that she made, with the pulling the walker and having to kill him out of the car. She put JSS on the window. After she ate the turtle, she wrote on the bones JSS.
Yeah.
When she saw Alexandria and she was about to walk away, she wrote JSS on her hand. It's like,
It was such a strong statement
yes,
and theme
and
throughout that
the
episode.
reason why she went back to Alexandria was because JSS had such a significance to her. It's like, I have
very,
to
very
survive
true.
somehow, and that's what she did to
so
survive.
you think it's like an affirmation almost that every decision she makes, she does that JSS to be like, yeah, you
I believe
right.
so.
You
Yeah,
right.
you
You
so,
gotta
yeah.
eat
eat a turtle, you have to give yourself some
Or
motivation.
you gotta check
to
those
right? To survive
pretty-
somehow, I'm about
Yeah.
to eat a turtle. So yes, I absolutely
Yeah,
think
or
so.
I'm gonna say bye to Carl without saying bye to Carl.
Right.
JSS,
She's like, gotta go. Hashtag
you know how many
JSS.
people are gonna get broken up this year with JSS?
I love the
JSS.
significance of JSS. I feel like after this episode, so many people are going to be writing this everywhere.
Yes.
It's the new acronym
It's
that
in
everyone's
everybody.
going to be using.
Hashtag JSS. We're gonna
Carol
see it
could have used
everywhere.
JSS with Ed, and her first husband
That's
Yeah.
true.
beat her JSS.
Yeah, Jesse with
Oh
pork
my
stick.
God.
Yep, JSS.
It was a very powerful statement. But I do want to go back to something that you said with the time. I feel like that's an issue with this show in general. I have no idea how much time has passed.
Unless Carol's making a casserole.
Because I feel like Judith has been
Exactly.
exactly.
Unless there's
it's been 40
little
minutes.
kitchen
But I
timer.
feel like Judith's been 1 year old for 5 years.
I want her character, in shows when
Can
we
she
come
walk?
back
Does she walk yet?
from the break.
I don't even know. Does she walk?
I don't
She
know.
was strolling up in that carriage like a G though. She clearly cannot
was
walk
pushing
because
her.
Like nothing's gonna come after
Right.
her. I love how she takes a nap during the middle of the whole attack from the wolves. She's just kind of chilling as a child. I wish she would grow up a little bit,
Right.
because I want this character to move along. But I feel like not much time at all has gone by.
Right.
I don't
right.
know.
So we'll see. We need Judith to grow up a little bit.
We
At
all
least
know
she's
how I
not
feel
crying
about
anymore,
Judith.
disturbing the quiet moments when the walkers were there, because she used to get on my nerves saying that.
Yeah, now that there's no walkers around, she don't cry no more.
So true. So true. So two characters that I think we saw some PTSD, so to speak, were Ron and Jesse. I think that we're seeing the aftermath of, her husband beating her. So what do you guys think about their characters?
Beating her and the whole family.
and the whole
I mean,
family we're
it's-
finding out, yeah.
I mean, that takes a toll on anybody, whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you're male or you're female. I mean, it's something that just takes a toll mentally and emotionally on you. And I think I'm glad that they're kind of addressing that with this episode instead of just sweeping it under the rug and being
Right.
like, okay, well, he's dead, so that's it.
Right.
It's not it. There's a lot of mental repairing that they all have to do as a family.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we're seeing also Ron in kind of the teenage attitude anyway.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see the relationship with him and his mom and how he feels about the fact that she is friends with these people that came into the town and with the man that killed his father,
Yeah.
So I think it's really interesting.
I think it's crazy that it hasn't come out yet. I'm hoping that it will come out in a future episode. But I think that's why I can't really get on Team Ron, Ron sympathizer really, because I
Right.
feel like when you're in a situation like that and you're the oldest son, and your mom's getting beaten, you're taking the beatings for yourself, your mom, and for your baby brother. It's kind of one of those things of, you can't even protect. So there's that angst and anger coming from that. But then we don't really see him really wrestling with his level of possible responsibility in the scenario. So I guess that's why I'm just like, God, you're so damn angry. Go film something. Go
Right.
put JSS in there.
Well, I just feel
Right.
like with, with their dad being so abusive. You know what I mean? You can see the effects on all of them. The younger son is like in the closet, like can't be brave. You know what I mean? Like he's definitely like very stamping stuff all over town. Like he's taken the fact that his dad beat him in a different direction than the older son, who's he's in the rebellious phase. He's, you know, like not wanting to connect with his mom. But she went off on one of those wolves.
Oh my gosh.
If that was you, that would have been.
If that was my kid,
You would have been out.
yeah, no questions asked.
She took a wolf out like there was nobody's business, and she definitely used her aggression from what she wanted to
She
do.
said she was.
100%.
She said she was gonna fight.
She fought real fast.
Yeah. And it was the last in the head before it went to the commercial. I was like,
Cut hair.
okay.
Like.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It was just fireworks just out of the wolf. I was just like, okay.
It was pretty epic. It was pretty epic. So then we have, and I'm calling this the 40 minutes of mayhem, because Carol is baking this casserole. She sets the timer for 40
she
minutes,
knows.
and then all hell breaks loose. So let's just talk about this 40 minutes of mayhem. So we see Carol put the casserole in, and then she sees it was Cheryl, right?
Shelby.
Was it Shelby?
Shelby.
Yeah. Someone with an S.
Pasta girl.
The smoker. She was outside smoking, and she gets slashed. Okay, and then from then on, it was just a domino effect.
From then on, Carol changes out of that cardigan sweater.
Oh, she sure does.
And she becomes a wolf.
And
I love that costume change.
It was
like
amazing.
Miss Home Betty Maker, and then teaching people how to make casseroles out of what was it called? What was the terrible?
Cream of celery?
Yes, cream of celery.
Yeah.
Cream of celery, gross.
Let me tell you.
But you gotta survive. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Whenever I saw her on set, like it wasn't. You're like, I'm there. You know, I'm just getting ready like this, and she was already doing some scenes. You know, in that disguise, and she was, you know, behind me, and I turned around. I'm like, oh, like
Pretty scary. Her presence.
Yeah, I'm like, who is this? You know, and then like,
Yeah, grab your wallet. You were like, hold on now.
Well, hold on. Let me my car keys. You know.
I think what blows my mind about the whole Carol in itself, and this is why she's one of my favorite characters, is that in the comics, do you read the comics?
You know, I wish I did.
Yeah.
I wish I did.
Well, in the comics, she's like completely different. She's not as badass. Like, she has this completely different storyline, and all of my comic book readers, you guys know. The evolution that they have given her on this show is fantastic.
I think it's just a testament, though, to Melissa McBride's ability as an actress. I think that's why, and I think they're like, oh, wait, she's really good. We need to give her something. So I think that's really cool that they've made Carol such a strong character. I don't read the comics, but I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I just love her transition from the first season to now.
Oh my gosh,
it's just, you have this kind of battered woman, you know, at the first season, and you just see her journey like throughout this whole show, and to now it's just like she's a boss. She's a beast.
She's the beast.
Yeah,
And then 40 minutes of mayhem that you're speaking of, like she literally saves Alexandria, because without her staying behind, you know, because we were discussing like, why is she playing this meek role of being like the Betty homemaker? But it was strategic last season.
Absolutely.
That she was just going to be the good cop. Rick was going to be the bad cop, because she took balls by the horn, you know what I mean? Like, she really, really took this episode.
She took the bull
Bulls by the horn. There it is. We found it.
But that's because, like, you know, she was hiding, right? And then you remember when Rick killed, oh my God, in the first episode, remember he got his face eaten?
Carter.
Yes, Carter.
Oh, yeah.
So you remember, like, Rick's very adamant. He's very outspoken. We got to protect the Alexandria, you know, all this stuff. And so when it came with Carter, was just like, no, don't touch me, don't help me, Rick. Because no, anybody but you, Rick. You know, and Rick had to knife him, and then we see the juxtaposition of Carol in the same situation with old girl, and she's just like, oh my God, but she went gentle and quiet into the night because she was like, oh, Carol, my celery cooking friend.
Right.
And that's why she was able to knife her so quietly, because people still saw Carol as old Navy wearing Carol instead of, like, you know, 8 Mile Carol.
Old Navy Carol.
Exactly.
I love that.
And
That's hilarious.
And I will love to see what's going to happen after she sheds that hoodie. They're not going to look at Carol the same.
Oh, absolutely
Oh, no,
not.
no.
Absolutely
Because
not.
she was faking the funk, you know?
Right.
She was
And
definitely
they're like,
faking the
"Hold
funk on
up."
who she is.
Hold up.
So maybe they're not
Yeah.
going to trust her. It's really going to be interesting where her storyline develops within Alexandria, but everyone, the old G's, they know about her. They know about Carol.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, thanks, Carol.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No.
Now, speaking on Carol and Morgan, I want to bring him in. We see this kind of disconnect between both of those characters. Carol is very much, as we see, the badass. She's like, no, we got to kill people. We're moving on. And Morgan's in this very zen, like, no, we don't have to kill. And we've seen on Twitter and on Facebook and on YouTube, a lot of you are like annoyed with Morgan because he's taking this route. And I'm going to defend him because he's one of my favorite characters. And I would totally go that way because I'm all about like, no, it's human life. Let's try to do. I know. But I want to know what you guys think. You guys, well, we already know what you guys, what do you think? Would you go with Morgan or Carol? Which route would you take to like, if we don't have to kill, we don't have to? Or are you just kill immediately?
You know, I would probably go with Morgan.
Thank you.
You know, yeah, it's just, you know, he has this zen nature about him, and he's grown so much being out there by himself.
Yeah.
Like whenever he comes back, you see it in his whole aura. It's just like, wow. And to work with him is just incredible. Like,
See, I think that you're just defending him because you worked with him. And going to what Malynda said, like, it's not just killing immediately. It's not about this whole life of Zen or killing immediately. It's about surviving. JSS just survived somehow, and this is how they survived. He's already let 2 wolves go before. They came back once again to try to kill him. And then he's going to let him go again, and then on the way out, he grabbed a gun. What does that say? Like, how many times are you going to let this happen before you get it?
I totally see that. But I understand his thoughts. I do. Go for it.
No, I'm definitely with you. Like, first of all, he was giving away way too much information. We have a ton of guns here. You should run. Like, there has to be more wolves, right? This is a small pack of wolves that come in to maybe raid the place the first time, to scope it out, to see what's going on. So, I mean, I feel like he was giving away way too much information. He lets the guy leave. He was doing a light jog to go catch up with him to do what with your broomstick? Like, I love Morgan and his character, but yes, I'm on the bandwagon with everyone is saying on Twitter and YouTube. He was kind of annoying this episode. I think he's a great actor. I'm sure he was awesome to work with, but
we love Lenny James.
The
His
story
character's a little annoying.
The story choice is a little interesting.
I think it'll be interesting once we find out like why it came to that. You know, like we kept talking about how like I miss Hot Mess Morgan.
Yeah,
I really do.
When they came up on him, Mashona and Rick came up on him.
When
Disaster.
Post losing his son and just
Losing
like
his wife.
everything, and I miss Hot Mess Morgan. That's my favorite. But you know, I think between the time that we saw him as that hot mess to this point, you know, he did say he had a friend who taught him how to use that mop handle and defend himself without killing people. And it's just that namaste life, you know, in this post-apocalyptic world. And I want to know, like, what happened that he came to that fruition after suffering so much loss? So I think eventually we're going to see that and then be back on Team Morgan's namaste side.
I agree with that. I can see that.
But I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna shoot first, ask questions later.
I feel you.
That's just how I was trained in the military. That's how I am in life.
So how was it working with him in this episode? Because you got up close and personal with that broomstick.
He tried to save you.
He did. He did. Yeah. It's what was so cool, like in between takes, and I'm gonna kind of take this with me, is he would kind of hum, he would kind of sing, and it was so, it kept him in the moment, and it was like, wow, you know, like just to see him so comfortable and so centered, like he's such a centered guy, and to see him like how he would kind of get ready before a scene, he would just kind of shout, you know, and everyone would kind of, you know, look like
his actor preparation was. I love that.
Yeah.
Shouts right before.
Yeah. It was just you know,
there it is.
just like clear it out, you know. It's just like
What about you?
Lenny James
What did you do to prep for your scene, like your moment before? Like, did you do any and push-ups and hollering or nothing?
You know, like what I did to prepare is, you know, I focused so much on like what I was about to do. You know, I didn't want to miss a beat with these guys. It's like you have these guys who have gelled like this, like from working with each other over the years. It's like, you know, I'm just gonna take my time. I'm gonna listen to these guys, and I'm going to be there. for them, even though they're going to take me out. You know?
Right.
Do what they
You know?
need. But you seem to have a little bit of combat training. There was a little bit of choreography to your fight scene a little bit. Walk us through like what that was like.
Oh, it was crazy. Before I had some stage combat, experience.
Cool.
And this was intense though. Like it was literally like I got there, we rehearsed it, and the weather, like it was so hot. Like we're rehearsing.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Yeah, welcome to yeah. And like I'm like sweat is in my eye. And, like I can't really see.
Yeah.
And like we're talking like about the this and that, and like I'm like, okay, I think I see what you're doing. Like, we'll work it out, And it's crazy. Like one of the takes, Lenny, he's so in the zone. He's doing his thing like that. Whacks me in my ear.
I hope they got that at least on tape though. Was that a practice?
Tape.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
it was on tape,
the real deal.
And I just kind of like, just was like, yeah, all right, no, that's cool.
That happens.
Yeah, that's all right. And like I kind of turned around, I was like, I'm calling my mom.
Oh man.
But it was great.
That's awesome. Now your lines, can you tell us what you said? Because it was a very important part in that episode.
Can you do it to camera like you're acting?
Do it all serious, all right?
Do it.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here we go.
This is my
Action.
moment. We're freeing you. You're trapped. You need to know. People don't belong here anymore. And
And you're everybody's favorite wolf because that tackle that you gave Father Gabriel when you that was you, by the way, that lifted him and put him on the ground?
Yeah.
No,
I loved you for that.
Almost pulled my hamstrings.
Oh, no.
on
No,
that,
you did. Oh my goodness.
That was awesome.
Well, I know
it
a
was
ton
a lot
of
of
people
fun.
were saying like, "Oh, I wish Father Gabriel would just go already." And we were
hoping.
hoping,
We were
you were
hoping
going to
it
be
would
the
be you.
guy.
Yeah.
It didn't work out
We were
that
like, oh,
way.
I know,
He's
yeah,
gone.
But then,
yeah, a lot of people,
So do you know, what does that mean?
yeah.
Your lines, do you know? Like,
it's everyone's infected, and it's like none of us really, whenever I really look at it, is like we don't belong, anymore. Like it's, especially like, there's so many meanings behind Alexandria. Like it's like this safe place, and you have all these infected people that, it's like, are they even worthy of being here? So
But why is it up to the wolves to decide if people are allowed to be here?
But why is it up to Christians to decide who does and doesn't get to into heaven? I mean, it's the same thing with like religious kind of things. There are some people
everybody
who
has their own,
extremists, and I'm not saying
completely
like
get that.
Christians are bad or
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm like, where
not
are you going
saying that.
with this?
But there are Christians. No, not at all. I'm just saying every religion has their
absolutely, for
extremist
sure.
that is like, I'm
Completely.
going to go and take it. I'm going to make it my responsibility to judge you.
Well, it's because I'm coming from Fear the Walking Dead after show, but it's kind of a callback to that when they were talking about nature, the beast and nature always wins. And then in this episode, we have people called wolves and very predatory. And then you have predator and prey, and maybe that's what the semblance is as well, is that these wolves are weeding out the weak of what Rick was even talking about, but they were talking about walkers as opposed to not just fearing other human beings doing the same thing too. So I think the Alexandrians are getting a whole lot of learning.
Yes.
whole lot of.
It's
lot of
interesting that you bring up the predator versus prey thing, because I've been sitting here, and in the comics they're called the scavengers rather than the wolves. And you brought up this predator prey thing because I was wondering why they would change the name, and the only realistic explanation that I can think of is because they're so animalistic. Like the way that they're chopping up the bodies is not human. The way that they're putting their blood on their faces is not human. The way that they speak to each other, even in that last scene when he's like the way that they talk to each other is not human. So it's just fascinating to me that I think that they're just trying to make them more animalistic to survive
Very good.
in
Yes,
this
breaking it
apocalyptic.
down.
Well,
Very
then,
good
and then also
observation.
the whole blood and bond. You wrote about that on the blog, like blood versus bond. And so that's the other thing. It's like, who is family and who is not? And then you look at wolves, and it's supposed to be running as a pack. They don't care when someone's shot beside them.
That's true.
They don't.
They don't.
So
These are all great.
Yeah.
So before we go to commercial break, what are your predictions next for the Wolves? What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think there's more? I definitely think more are coming.
Okay, really quick. I they made a lot of noise, and the walkers are already on their way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'm saying.
Predictions?
Well, the main question at the end of the episode is the lady still standing there with the gun?
Olivia.
Someone going to accidentally die from Alexandria? Second, because that could be an accidental death that can go
Very
wrong.
true.
Yeah.
Because they need to be trained. And the 18-wheeler that started the honking horn, what is inside that? Is there all walkers inside there as well?
Because if that truck
is
opens,
that going to happen? And then the walkers are also coming on their way. So there's a lot of zombies coming,
yes,
and that's
and
what
where
we
Rick
love.
and the rest of the group are, like, how are they trying to get this fixed?
The best part of The Walking Dead is when the characters are split up, when the team is split
Completely.
up. Because it's like, how are they going to get back together? We know they are.
Yeah.
But who's going to make it? Who's going to survive?
Because they can't just send a
Love it.
text.
They
I'll
can't
be there in about
just
20 minutes.
I know y'all see.
No.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be right back with your fan questions, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, this is for you.
I love it. That was freaking
Oh my God.
I didn't see any of this coming. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah,
I was like,
How did you get here? No.
Like, kill him. Kill him. Definitely kill him. We're cool.
shade. Shade left and right, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies, let's put your 2 cents in.
Rubbed me the wrong way and the right way.
But you were like, well, we want to know what's going to happen.
That was cute.
We just want to say we love you all. Thank you so much for your support. You are all seriously the best in the world.
Another beautiful summer at the stream.tv, y'all.
Here we go, guys.
Thank you for being here. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
All right, welcome back to The Walking Dead After Show, live on the Stream TV, and we are here again with our special guest, LaBrandon Shead. Thanks so much for joining us. All right, so we're going to get to the best part of the show, which is your fan questions. So our first question that we have is from one of our favorites here at the stream, Tiago Silva. He asks, what would be the purpose of the wolves sending in a small group of them to Alexandria? Which is their true plan? It's a very good question, and we talked about that a little bit. What is their plan?
Recon.
I don't think that they sent a small group. I think that this is their entire group.
I think that's all of them?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that they put in their entire effort into taking this place over,
And
they failed.
Yeah.
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 Well, they have that backpack of pictures that we kind of didn't really get to discuss on. So I feel like they're definitely coming to get the solar power, the clean clothes. I mean, but we are saying that they're a little backwards in their ways because, you know, why were they chopping people up so many times? Is it because they think the zombies are going to come back to life if they don't do that, sever all the limbs?
I think that that's what it is. I was joking. I was like, well, I don't think that they're like, no offense to you, but I was like, I don't think that they're like the smartest group of people. So maybe they don't know to stab them in the head. They just chop them up. But I think it's also just the animalistic quality that you said that they are given. But I'm excited because if that was all of them, I want the walkers to be a threat again. The way it was in the beginning, because it's been people that have been more of a threat the last couple seasons, like with Terminus and all these other things. So I think with all of these walkers coming, they're going to be the threat again.
Sue, what do you think?
I mean, I kind of see your point about it's a small group. You know what I mean? Because when Morgan met the wolves the first time, it was those 2 guys that were in this episode, and one of them was the leader, and they were out in the elements doing what we see now all the wolves are doing. So I can see that it's a small group, but then I can also see, like, then how do they know that it was like a full push effort and that they knew that Alexandria was weak enough to get in? You know what I mean? Like, were they watching Rick's group long enough to know that they had plans to like work with these huge group of walkers, that they were going to be gone, leaving Alexandria vulnerable so that they can go in? And then also, they have that, what is it, that ghetto zombie truck stop thing going on with the zombies and the disco balls and the flatbed trucks. They still have that trap also in place. So then how far is the wolves' den from there? So I kind of feel like the wolves maybe won't be coming back. It was maybe a reconnaissance, or kind of thing.
LaBrandon,
and that
do you
maybe
know? Are they coming back?
I
Are
think
the
they're
wolves
coming
coming back?
I think they're coming back.
I think they're going to team up with another group and come back.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What, the bears? Wolves and bears?
Wolves
They're
and
gonna
bears.
come back.
Wolves and vampires.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Tiago, for your question. Our next question comes to us from Facebook, from Jessica Tyler Segal. Here's my questions. At the end of last night's episode, it looked like Morgan was walking towards the gates of Alexandria as he passes Carol. Is he over the unnecessary killing? Thoughts?
He's definitely over the killing.
Oh, for sure.
But where is he going? So that is a good. It's still
With
up
his
in
lunch bag.
With his lunch pail. Or
what did you have in your little
what's
brown
in there?
paper sack or whatever it was?
With his protein bar.
Yes.
Protein bars. That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
You know, I really, that was probably my favorite shot in the whole episode, with him and Carol passing each other, because I kind of felt that it was Morgan saying, I killed somebody, but I'm not on your side, and I still don't agree with killing, even though I did what I had to do. And they just had this, I think they said a lot to each other in that passing. What do you think?
I think that he's, like you guys said, he's over the killing, but at the same time, I think that he understands why it's necessary.
Right.
Just based on what the leader of the wolves said to him in the house, you know, he said,
like,
you can't do it, but you should have.
Yeah.
And then he was like, then he did. I think that he did kill him, because it had to be done. And I think that he is not okay with it. Just like he said to Carol when she killed, you're not okay with doing this. And she's not. That would make her a wolf. If they were on the same mental path of just killing people and being okay with it, then that would make them no better than the wolves.
Do you think, and I'm just throwing this out there because now that I'm thinking back on that episode, Morgan faced off with those guys, he grabbed a gun and then took off, and then he did that brisk walk to the gate and closed it. It was only then after that was he in that house, and we were like, why is he just going up in this house? Isn't that his house where he's staying, and he was going back for whatever's in that bag?
The lunch pail?
And then he's walking to the gate. Do you think maybe he's like, I'm gonna go in my house, I'm gonna get what I need, and I'm going after this damn wolf, and I'm gonna put him down?
It's a theory.
It's a theory.
For
It's a good
sure.
theory.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I like that one.
But what is in the lunch bag?
I don't know, maybe
What is
frankincense,
in the lunch
incense.
bag? The wolf. Like, if that's all he
Sage.
needs, I'd be a little afraid of somebody that doesn't have that much and is going to take care of some business.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Because all those resources are there. You know, he
Right.
could have packed a lunch.
Yeah,
he
he
could
could
have
have the armory.
He doesn't have any water.
So
I
whatever's
think
in that bag has got to be real strong.
Yeah, I think he's coming back because he has
That's all
no
he
survival
needs.
skills for some stuff. Yeah.
All right, and we have one more fan question. Tim, go ahead and read it.
Awesome. This is from Ainsley Hope. Thanks for watching. She says, at the end of season 6, do you think everyone will die and there will be one man standing, or will everyone live and find a new place?
So I saw on New York Comic Con, the director basically, or the creator of the show, basically said that there is going to be a main character that does die this season, which is kind of true to which happens every season.
Yeah.
One main character does die. But he did say that it's not going to be Carol.
Yeah.
From the comic, he goes on to say, I don't have the direct quote on me, but he basically says that in the comics, Carol's character wasn't as strong as how it's developed on camera, and who would kill such a character that has grown so much.
Right, and everybody's rooting for her.
Yeah, everyone's rooting for her.
Really the best character arc.
All the memes that went out about Carol last night, I was like loving straight out of Alexandria, where she's like, boom. I posted that right away.
Seriously though.
I think that in reference to Ainsley's question, I think that it's going to be a balance between the two. I mean, clearly everyone is not going to be living and find a new place, because a lot of Alexandrians did die in this attack. And like you said, one main character is going to die. I feel like there's going to be a lot of less popular characters that are going to die as well that are part of Rick's group.
Of course.
So I think it's going to be an even balance between the two. There's going to be a lot of people that die, and then there's going to be a lot of people that live.
Guesses?
That are gonna die?
I don't want to say because I read the comics, and I don't want to say anything. I don't want to spoil the comics. I think I know, but I.
Well, then I'm guess. I think it might be Rick, and I think Carol will take over as the leader. That's just going to be my guess.
Okay.
She's like, okay, no.
That's a
I
bold one.
know it would never happen, but I'm just going to stir up the pot a little bit.
That's bold.
We got some people on YouTube. Should we talk?
Yes,
yes. We've got Jack Chang, we've got Roger Perez, we've got Ty Smith. We see you on there. Thanks for always chatting with us. We really enjoy your conversations. But this one kind of stood out to me. We're talking about the name of why they changed it from the wolves to the wolves.
From the scavengers.
And from the scavengers to the wolves. There it is. Thank you, girl. And they're saying maybe the camp was a Native American survivor camp. That's
real deep. That's deeper than me.
Real deep. I don't think so because of the.
Did you look at the people?
The different characters that we see. I don't think you came from a Native American camp, but I thought it was pretty interesting that.
I don't know. Sometimes I look like.
No, you could.
But I just thought it was a pretty interesting theory on maybe that's why they changed
That's an
the
interesting
name.
theory. Yeah. Whoever said
Well,
that.
that makes me wonder
good
what
job.
happened to all the indigenous peoples when the apocalypse went down.
Yeah, because there's none of them left.
Probably because they were like, peace, I'm going to Canada.
Hey, wait, what indigenous people? The Native Americans?
Yes.
They were slaughtered when we came here, remember? they got slaughtered when we got here, so there was none left by the time the
They're still here. We just keep messing with them.
Oh my gosh. You got any more comments on YouTube? Or?
No, I just see Matt Barter, and we're on there chatting. Yeah, so everyone's just having, Sean Shells, we see you. So thank you so much for continuing the conversation.
Yes, thanks for tuning in, you guys. We love having you every week. And please make sure you tweet us throughout the week using the hashtag TWDAS. We'd love to feature your questions. We've had a blast talking with you tonight. It's a great episode. Thank you again to our special guest, LaBrandon Shead.
Thank you, LaBrandon.
Follow him on Twitter.
We're sorry you got killed, though.
We're sorry you got
Gotta
killed.
go. Gotta go.
I know.
All right, well, thanks again for tuning in to the Walking Dead After Show, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.